Before assembling your BF5150 tiles, just take a look at what the components are that make up the standard tile. To start with, you've got the 150mm square tile itself, the top surface. It's a tab and slot system which is quite straightforward in bringing all the parts together. The four sides of the tile, for the purposes of this video I'm going to be using the 33mm sides. They also come in 16mm, 63 and 93. And there's the four backing straps, which are used in conjunction with the sides, which I'll go through shortly. And of course there's the magnets, one of the key properties of the BF5000 system in holding all your tiles together. Let's start the preliminary assembly. Materials you'll need to be able to put the tiles themselves together will include PVA wood glue, polyvinyl acetate, some masking tape just to hold the tiles together while they dry, and super glue for the instant fit stuff where you don't want to have to wait too long for things to dry. Before assembling the tile itself, we need to prepare the sides of the tile for magnet insertion. It's a simple procedure of gluing the backing straps to the inside of the tile sides themselves. The outside of the tiles have a number of engravings which correspond to magnet holes in the sides of the tile. That's the outside surface. So with all the engravings upright looking at you, simply flip the tiles over so they're face down, or with their tabs at the top. And you can simply start by putting super glue on the sides of each hole, working your way along. Ultimately you do these in runs of 10, 20 at a time to speed things up for yourself. The straps themselves simply need to cover all the holes for two reasons. One, you won't be able to push your magnets in any further than flush with the outside of the MDF. And it will also create more of a bonding surface inside the hole for your magnets to grab a hold of. So with the super glue on, I can simply put my straps on, a little bit of pressure, just make sure those holes are covered. And you'll see that your sides of your tile are good to go, ready to have the magnets put in. You'll simply see that the holes are filled, the holes are backed I should say, ready to have magnets inserted. Let's move on. This is the most important step when it comes to constructing any BF5000 tile, and that's the insertion of the magnets themselves into the sides of the tile. You'll notice with the side of any tile are a number of engravings that correspond with the holes that have been cut for magnets. For the 5150, all we need to focus on is 150 left and 150 right on the far outsides of the tile. The key point to remember is that the left hand side of the tile will have one polarity, the right hand side will have the opposite polarity. You can start by inserting super glue into your 150 lefts and also into your 150 rights. I'm assuming this is the very first tile you've made, so with a column of magnets, grab a few so you've got something to hang on to. Pick one end of the column and simply start inserting down the left hand side. Push in and slide, letting the glue do its job. Before moving over to the right hand side, the key thing I need to remember is to rotate that column of magnets 180 degrees and start using the opposite end of the column for the right hand side. This will give me opposite polarity and allow the tiles to come together. So simply make sure all your tiles are pushed in flush. The magnets themselves are 3mm thick, and so is the MDF, so you should end up with a nice flush finish, allowing all your tiles to come tightly together. If at any stage you find yourself putting your magnets down, thus not knowing which end of the column is which, or you start creating new tiles, all you need to do is to re-establish a traction. So go back to the left-hand side of the tile and find the attractive end. If you've found a traction, that's the correct end of the column of magnets to use. So again, continue working down the left-hand side of any new tiles you make. Rotate 180 degrees, obviously re-establish a traction on the right side, and again, continue working down. To check that your tiles are coming together, simply take two sides, as if they were two sides of completed tiles, and bring them together. They should connect up perfectly, just exactly the way they should during a table setup for gameplay. Let's move on to tile assembly. Before assembling any 5150 tile, just pick up the top surface and a side, just in a dry run. Pay attention to where the sides of the tile make contact with the surface top. They make contact underneath the edge, and also the tabs themselves into the slots make contact. So to start with, I'm going to run 2 beads of glue on edges that run right angles to each other. That way I can start making a 3-dimensional shape, and all the pieces will start grabbing hold of each other. As well as the underneath edge, stand it up on end, put a little bit of glue in the slots, ready to have the tabs put in. Start by grabbing side number 1, insert the slots, tabs into the slot, sorry. Also put a little bit of glue on the tab, the slot area on the corner where it's going to make contact, and put in side number 2. Already you'll find the tiles starting to stand up by themselves. You don't need to feel like you need 2 pairs of hands to make the tiles. With your paper towel, just wipe away the excess. And what I like to do with my masking tape is just to use it as a binder to hold the pieces together while they dry, because you can pull things up nice and tightly, push out the excess glue. So as well as masking the corner, I'll also mask from underneath, pushing up to the undersurface of the tile on each corner. Again, just come back to that paper towel and wipe away your excess glue. Keeping things clean is the best way to do it. Okay, I'm going to run a bead of glue for side number 3. Again, in all slots that are going to have tabs. Taking side number 3, insert that one. Again with the masking tape, pushing and pulling, squeezing that glue out, making sure we've got lots of good contact. And I can move on to side number 4, last one. Again, run that bead of glue on that edge, in the slots, and then I need to go back to end number 1 and just glue around the tab. So we can put in side number 4. Back to our friend the masking tape. Best to use masking tape rather than cellulotape. Cellulotape glues can be quite nasty and leave glue marks behind on your MDF, then it's something you've only got to clean up later. Best to just simply avoid it. Use masking tape, it's paper based. If on the off chance something does stick, it's quite easily sanded off. Squeezing glue out is a good sign that all your surfaces are making contact, and you're just going to get a really good bond with all sections of your tile. So that's pretty much it. Just go around and check that you've got no glue runs or any beads of glue on the exterior of the tile. If those glue runs dry hard, they're obviously going to get in the way of all your tiles pulling up tight. So there you pretty much have it. Leave the tile upside down to dry. Nobody sees the inside of your tile. That'll stop any other glue runs happening when you're not looking. But that's pretty much how the tile goes together. Really simple.